Hey guys, Chicago injury lawyer Scott DeSalvo here, also known as my injury guy. That's what some of my clients call me, and I hope that that's what you might one day think of me as, your injury guy. But it's my injury guy. That's the brand. Um, the topic today is how long will my injury case take? And so this is what I tell people who call me with that question. Super common question. It's a question that a lot of my clients call me and ask me about. So here's how that breaks down. Okay. How long will an injury case take? So, what most people need to know that most people don't realize is until your treatment has ended or plateaued, we really can't even begin to settle your case. Now, in workers' comp context, that doesn't mean, like, in workers' comp, it's different than other kinds of cases like car crash cases or dog bite, bar fight, fall down, those sorts of cases, nursing home, whatever you call it, med mal, whatever it is. Workers' comp is completely different. In workers' comp, you're supposed to be paid while you're off work. You're supposed to be get necessary medical care approved and those bills paid as they're incurred, versus car crash, dog bite, bar fight, med mal, nursing home, whatever the third party kind of case is. You get a lump sum of money in those cases at the end of the case, and that's the lawyer gets paid, the doctors get paid. You end up with the balance, and if you have a good lawyer, they'll do a lot of wheeling and dealing to maximize what you get and also cut the medical bills and other deductions from your case, cut them down as low as possible, right? Because every dollar your injury lawyer takes away from a doctor or an insurance company or anyone else with their handout at the end of your case, every dollar they take away from other people goes straight to you. So a good lawyer will work hard to make sure you put maximum dollars in your pocket. But how long does it take? Well, the main thing you have to understand is until you are done treating or you've plateaued in treatment, we don't know how much to ask for, right? So let's take a scenario. You have a bad back, you were involved in a car crash, you have a bad back, right? You have some therapy, you call me and say, listen, Scott, settle my case immediately. We're broke, we need the money, settle my case, I'll sign anything you want me to sign. Well, the first thing I would tell you is don't do it. But let's say I did it, and then we settle your case, and let's say you have like 10,000 in hospital and physical therapy at that point. I send it to the insurance company. They say, okay, we'll pay you 20,000, $25,000 because we just have an ER visit and some physical therapy. There's no indication that this is a serious permanent injury. And you say, okay, I'll take the money. I'll take the money. Well, once you settle, there's no going back and asking for more money, right? And so if we settle at that point, let's say you do another 6 months of therapy and then that you need back surgery and the medical bills for the back surgery are 100 grand. Once we settled back for 20, 25 grand, once the case is settled, we can't go back and ask for more. We're stuck. We're stuck with what was given, right? We're stuck with what was accepted back then. And that's why we have to wait until your treatment's done, until you're back at work, you're completely better, before we can really make an intelligent demand and value your case, right? So it's actually a common question. Like, I do represent people who are under a lot of financial duress, but settling your case early or cutting your medical treatment short is often a huge mistake. There are other options like lawsuit loans, which I generally don't recommend, but they do have a purpose. If you need a lawsuit loan to bridge you to the point where we can make an intelligent settlement demand, and the medical records support the injury and how serious and permanent it is, then sometimes taking out a lawsuit loan is actually the smart thing to do. But this is really about the timing, right? So until your treatment has plateaued, meaning you're as cured from your injuries as you're going to, or that you're done treating completely because you've returned to a pre-injury state, that time is like the time where we order all your medical. Now we know exactly what your injury is, and we know how much to ask for it, and we have all of your medical bills. So we know exactly how much the medical bills are. We know exactly how much to ask for in the demand, right? Or at least we can attach a list of your medical bills that are accurate, right? And, the thing you need to know is a lot of the case value is based on how much the medical bills are and how serious and permanent your injury is. So, like our example we just talked about, if you've got like 10,000, 20,000 in medical, it's not usually not going to be $1 million case, right? But if you have like 100,000 in medical and the medical records say this guy's got herniated discs and he needs 3 surgeries, the surgeries are going to cost 150 grand. After the surgeries, we're hoping he'll be better, but maybe not. Like, that is what drives value in the case, and it can make the difference between you getting fully compensated for your injuries and having a lot of regret. So that's why we have to wait until that period of time. Now, how long after you tell us you're done going to the doctor or you've plateaued can we reasonably expect to settle your case? I would say 3 months after you're done treating is about as fast as it's ever going to happen. Now, granted, I've settled cases in less than 30 days after somebody was done going to the doctor. That does happen, but I have an exceptionally organized office. What about like the common thing, like what's the outside? Many times it's very hard to get medical records from small medical practices or giant hospitals, believe it or not, in the suburbs. Like, hospitals in Chicago are very compliant. Hospitals in the suburbs will often make us wait a really long time and make us follow up and follow up and follow up to get the bills and records. And until we have the bills and records, we don't really know what to ask for, what the nature and extent of your injury is, remember. So we don't want to send out a demand with only half the information because you're going to end up with a short settlement. So sometimes it may take as much as 6 months to get a demand out. There have been cases in my office where it takes us 8 months because the medical providers went out of business or they're out of state. They're 6 months behind in fulfilling medical bill and record requests. Those are things out of my control, but we do subscribe to the squeaky wheel gets the grease philosophy in my office. So we're very aggressive about following up about that stuff. I have more like a client mindset where the minute you're done treating, we got to go get your money. But I can't go get your money without the medical bills and records. So I'm aggressive with the medical providers to get us that stuff so that I can go get your money. Let's say the case doesn't settle. Let's say the case settles. In most straightforward cases, you're probably going to have your money less than 6 months after you're done treating. There have been cases in my office where somebody's done treating and I settle it within 30 days, and within 60 days the client has their money. In other situations where Medicare or Medicaid are involved, those are government entities and they're going to respond to us when they respond to us. That doesn't mean that we don't aggressively follow up with them. We do, but that can really slow a settlement down as well. So this is what I'm going to tell you. If you're done treating and you've gone more than a year and your case hasn't settled, it either means that your case is headed for litigation, that means a lawsuit, or it means your lawyer is not being aggressive about it. And if you call your lawyer should be able to tell you. We sent out a demand letter. They do not want to make an offer. We're going to have to file a lawsuit. They should be able to tell you that. If they don't know what to tell you when you call them, then, that's unacceptable. My advice would be to talk to the paralegal or the attorney on the case and let them know that you want a clear answer about what the delay is. So once a case is involved in litigation, the way I think about that is, like, once you're in litigation, a lawsuit's filed, you're not going to get to trial for between 1 and 3 years on average. Some courts are faster, some courts are slower, but if you get to trial after 1 year of filing a lawsuit, that's very fast and very aggressive. So my point is, once a case is in suit, it's going to be a waiting game, pretty much. You have to understand that it's probably going to be a waiting game. And at that point, communication with your attorney is vital. Your attorney, every case is different. You're going to need to talk to your attorney about the timeline and what is the defense posture. So why is that important? I'll tell you why. I've had cases where the minute I filed a lawsuit, like within a week, a lawyer calls me and says, I looked at your demand letter, I looked at the medical, I don't know why they didn't settle this case with you. And then within 7 days, we settled the case. Other situations are the case is a super solid, great case, and they don't want to settle it. Now, last thing I'll say is, you have to understand, defense attorneys get paid by the hour. So when they get assigned a file by an insurance company, they don't want to work 2 or 3 hours on it. They want to work as many hours as possible, because a lot of these defense firms make, like 200, 300, 400 or more per hour working on the case. So they'd rather bill 50 hours on the case before it settles than they would bill 2, 3, 4, 5 hours. Because the more money they bill, the more money they get, right? So that's something for you to think about. As soon as a defense attorney is involved in the case, they've got a financial interest in dragging it out. Doesn't mean occasionally a litigated case won't, once in a while settle pretty quickly. But anyway, I feel like at this point, I'm rambling. I feel like I've given you an awful lot of information. The best answer is, if you have a very straightforward case, your case probably should settle within 3 to 6 months of you being done treating. If the defense is taking a defense posture and you have to litigate the case, you have to be prepared for the long haul. And if there are financial struggles involved with that, there are things that you can do that will help you. Lawsuit loans might be some, but talking to an experienced injury lawyer is going to be a really good idea for you. So anyway, I know I've talked really long, but this is a really long, complicated topic. So anyway, hope that information helps you. Hope you and your family are well. If God forbid any of you need some help, you can call me anytime, night or day, 312-500-4500. And please stay tuned to the end of the video. I have some killer tools and information for injured people. I'm getting a ton of positive feedback from people on these tools. So stay tuned till the end of the video. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.
Thanks for watching. If you or anyone you know has been hurt in an accident and needs a lawyer, or even just has questions, give me a call anytime, day or night, at 312-500-4500. You can call me anytime, day or night, and the consultation is free. That's 312-500-4500. Or if you're not ready to talk to a lawyer, I made 2 great tools that really help people out that you can use for free on my website. The links are in the description. The first one is called the Case Cash Calculator, and it tells you what your case might be be worth. The other is called the Good Case Calculator, and it tells you whether you might have a good case or you might have a case with some challenges. The best part is that they're 100% free to use on my website, and it only takes you 20 seconds flat to answer 7 multiple choice questions right off the top of your head. And then you get custom information about your particular injury situation fast and for free. So check them out, links in the description. If you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a like and subscribing to my channel. I release 2 new videos every week, and this way you'll get notice of them. And if you have a question you'd like answered in a video, just leave a comment with your question in the comments section. Finally, if you enjoy my videos or if I've helped you in any way, I hope you'll consider doing me a favor. Injury law is a very competitive field, and I like having a small independent firm so I can help people who need it. People really rely on Google reviews when deciding who to hire, so I hope you'll consider leaving me a 5-star review on Google. It only takes a few seconds, but it's a favor to me that I would really appreciate. The link is in the description. You just go to that link, click 5 stars, say a kind word, hit submit, and you're done. Once again, I hope you and your family are well, and if anyone you know needs an injury lawyer or has questions, please send them my way by calling 312-500-4500. Thanks again for watching. Take care.
312-500-4500. If you got hurt, you gotta give him a try. Call my injury guy.
Call my injury guy.
312-500-4500. If you got hurt, you gotta give him a try.